Before Gurren Lagann inspired the masses, and before Hideaki Anno fucked us up with Neon Genesis Evangelion, there was Gunbuster. Gunbuster is a short 1988 mecha series spanning 6 episodes. It's known for being Hideaki Anno's directorial debut, as well as being the anime that drew eyes towards Gainax as a studio that can produce mainstream anime. The same studio that would later bring us mecha masterpieces Neon Genesis Evangelion and Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann themselves. Gunbuster to this day is respected as an iconic series and has gone on to inspire and influence anime outside of Studio Gainax, while drawing inspiration from previous mecha anime and films such as Top Gun. But it's not without some flaws. I found it to be both an intriguing and captivating series thanks to its mix of realism, 80s cheesiness, and its exploration of existential themes. Gunbuster focuses on Noriko Takaya, daughter of a famous space admiral whose fleet went missing in one of their first battles in a war against an insectoid alien race. She makes friends with Kazumi Anno, who fits the beautiful upperclassman role. She's dignified, competent, and intelligent. Noriko, on the other hand, unfortunately shares similarities with Evangelion's Shinji, with father issues, incompetence, and a lack of any natural talent to begin the series with. Without spoiling too much, although there's not a lot to spoil considering the length, Noriko does learn and grow for the sake of herself and humanity, which is great and develops her character in some ways, but it does come along with some pacing issues. In some scenes, it feels like all it takes is the flip of a switch to turn Noriko from scared and afraid to a mecha badass without too much thought. What makes Gunbuster a fantastic watch is how it explores existential and confronting themes in a sci-fi setting. Intertwined with space theory, mechas, and attractive anime characters, it is a series that explores the nature of humanity and our place in the universe. However, it does so without becoming distant or unrelatable through its grounded characters and human motivations. Sound familiar? Yes, Evangelion may be known as the existential mecha anime, but Gunbuster explored these themes first, and it did so in a way that captivated you in its short run. This isn't to say that it explored these themes any better than Evangelion, it just did so first and in a different yet effective way. An example of this can be seen around halfway into the series. While the angst and trauma of a child distanced from their father is mainly explored in Evangelion through Shinji and his father's frankly terrible treatment of him, Gunbuster delves into this idea through Noriko and time dilation. Time dilation is a difference of elapsed time between two events. For example, in the 2014 film Interstellar, a couple hours explored on one of the planets results in several years whooshing by on the character's nearby spaceship.
Go, 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 go! 7 years per hour here. Let's make it count.
Meaning that the character that was left on the spaceship is now much older than the ones who went down on the planet. In Gunbuster, Noriko and her teammates travel at lightspeed to catch up with an unidentified craft, which reveals itself to be a father's which they thought had been lost years ago. It turns out that only a couple of hours have passed on the aircraft due to time dilation, which sparks Noriko with hope that her father is still on board, before crushing her hopes when she realizes that the front portion of the aircraft has been blown off. This sudden hope and crushing realization is an emotional scene that destroys what hope Noriko might have had with reconnecting with her father. This emotional turmoil is further emphasized when the team return to Earth, where several months have passed, despite it only being a matter of hours for Noriko. I really enjoyed this scene because it presents the longing of a father and the impact of being distant from him in an interesting and layered manner.
お父様のことは大変だったわね。元気を出して。あなた方にとっては6ヶ月前のことかもしれないけど、私たちはつい1時間前まであの場所にいたんです。彼女はしばらくそっとしておいてあげてください。
Gunbuster also experiences a dramatic tone shift partway into the series, features a human race defending itself at the cost of the galaxy, and has catastrophic events occur before the series begins. All these aspects are later presented in Evangelion in some shape or form. The charisma and iconic visual imagery of Gunbuster also makes its way into anime such as Gurren Lagann. Both are in many ways nihilistic, yet encouragingly optimistic in the way they present themselves and the events of their stories, while key moments such as this are recontextualized into just as hype and fantastic moments such as this.
無限の闇を光に変える
権限一気同心上銀河グレンラガン
Beyond its themes and influence, Gunbuster is also just an enjoyable watch because of its audios and visuals. Despite approaching 30 years old, many of the scenes hold up surprisingly well, and the use of colors in both the fantastical space scenes and more personal scenes are great. The music definitely takes the spotlight though, setting a solemn tone when on occasion, but fevering into an epic anthem when it needs to. One scene in particular surprised me with how emotional I became. For the most part, Gunbuster is still a campy 80s anime, but if it manages to drag you in with its charisma and charm, you're in for a ride. I found myself suddenly tearing up despite being fairly unaffected for most of my viewing. It's largely this raw and honest conveyance of emotion that seeps through the animation and audio that makes Gunbuster a surprisingly resonant anime. The care and enthusiasm of the people who worked on these scenes can really be felt. Obviously, Gunbuster isn't without its issues. Being an anime that's almost 30 years old, watching it in the 21st century means that the script, pacing and animation kind of fall short in some ways here and there, which might be enough to hinder some people's viewings of the show. But if you have any interest in mecha or would like to just see what influenced what are likely some of you or your friends' favorite anime, I still highly recommend Gunbuster. Hideaki Anno's directorial debut is campy, cheesy, filled with fan service and definitely old school, with characters shouting out their attacks before actually attacking. But all of this adds to the series, a reflection and pioneer of its time. And it also features some charmingly animated sequences, an amazing soundtrack, and its big moments do a lot to pull you in. Its use of plot elements such as time dilation are honestly engaging and would have been almost revolutionary to witness in a 1980s anime, while being packed to the brim with narrative tropes from mecha and other genres presented in a 6-episode OVA. And that's Gunbuster. Thanks for watching, I'm Peanuts and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Gunbuster also has a sequel called Diebuster released between 2004 and 2006 that features new characters and a vastly different tone, but explores a lot of similar ideas and I highly recommend that too. Feel free to subscribe, and if you want to keep up with me and my video ideas or have a suggestion, feel free to check me out on Twitter @Peanuts.